Folks, welcome back. If you missed game number 1, the quick recap was Stephano is a boss. He stopped the aggression quite well. He leads the series 1-0. And spawning here in the bottom right corner of the map. Seeing if he can bring it back. It's going to be the pink Protoss Bouli. Just realized he's the teammate of Euthermal, actually.
On the top left, as the red Zerg, it's Stephano.
We'll see what Stephano brings to the party this time around. He's a pretty strong player, as we see. There was that question, we hadn't seen him. Would we see him? What's he going to look like? How's he been? And the answer, quite frankly, is he's doing well. And if he doesn't make it to this qualifier, I've got good hopes they can do it through others. I really did write him off. I'm not going to pretend like I didn't. When I saw his name in the brackets, I'm like, okay, here's Stephano, just wants to play, maybe get some attention. Is he a real contender was the big question for me before we even started casting. And I guess I've had that answered for me quite well. But still not quite in that qualifying game just yet. Getting there, though. Winner of this plays Marine Lord, which that alone kind of seems like it would be the qualifying match, but actually it'll be the winner against Slivko, Snitchables, or Theo.
Oh. I'm just taking a look at the brackets. Cross did defeat Petraeus. Ooh, Petraeus.
Oh, man. If he doesn't make it 2 seasons in a row, I know his heart's going to break. Mine will break for him.
Yeah. It would suck. Well. Yeah, whenever this goes on to Marine Lord, so Stephano, who is, I think he's reeling off the back of that ZVP high from the last game, the last series where he brought it back, and that's cool, but will he find a new opponent in the Terran race, basically? Stephano, though, I know, I kind of had the same feelings you did, where, oh, he's in the brackets, he'll play and I'll have some fun, blah, 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 but I guess with players like that who are so great at one time, they just never really lose their... I guess their threatening ability to take qualifiers.
It's like riding a bicycle.
You don't forget. It's seriously the case, though. I mean, if they're that high up, at some point, Stephano was the #1 foreigner and actually just top contender throughout the world
for a long time too. It's not even like it wasn't even like a flavor of the month type thing with him.
Yeah, you don't just dip down. You don't dip down as much as everyone else. Us scrubs in the bottom tier of the ladder. So it's nice to see. And maybe not as surprising as it should be.
Well, I would like to give a big thank you to Mr. Dan09, who just subbed to the channel for first time round. Welcome to the family, sir. And make sure to abuse and spam all of our emoticons.
We need to work on what your laughs, go with, because sometimes you have the weird laugh with innocent jokes and the innocent laugh.
No, I want people spamming our emotes in the most dirty, disgusting, horrible way.
Oh, okay, then that fair.
Nothing makes me happier than that.
Oh. Okay.
I think what happens is you think I'm a better person than I am, is what it comes down to.
Well, darn me.
I tend to, yeah. All right, so there's one base opening once again for Bouli. I mean, okay, let's go back to his first game for just a moment here. I mean, his Immortal Sentry attack is something that does and would work against a lot of players. And I'm not saying, oh my god, Stephano's, impervious to this. We've actually seen a lot of good Zerg players die to that move. The problem was I didn't like the composition going into it. It was a little too Sentry light for me to really think that was going to be that big of a threat in the first place. I love the idea of the Warp Prism, but none of that really got executed very well. He just kind of showed up with units and hoped it was going to work, and it didn't play out like that at all.
And I really don't like the spot he chose to attack into. It was the most obvious spot, and it was the biggest concrete you could find. There's not even any grass to help you. If you at least been taking down the rocks. So yeah, he's gonna change it up though. He's gonna go for a Stargate. The Nexus is, so I'd say, quite late. His economy is, I guess, a little bit hurting, and Stephano. Well, I guess he's not going for the best economy either. He is going for, instead, Speedlings. It's going to give him some control, and it's going to give him some good units to start off with, at least, and then he'll macro up later.
I actually kind of like this more reserved playstyle rather than greedy out of him, though. It did play well in that last PvZ we just saw him play versus Snovsky. And by not going for a faster third and just going drone, he's not really finding himself susceptible to early game pressure. Last game was a good example of this.
I thought the drone was going to take the base that was going towards Bouli, and I was like, no, maybe not. But he fixes it and goes off to the top right base again. Not going to get the Overlord, but it's not really going to be able to come back in either.
Well,
Lynx to get through, kill the Sentry.
Yeah, getting that Sentry was a really nice kill. The Oracle coming out, though, interesting as it may be, won't be too effective going across the map. I don't think Stephano will probably be ready for this. Spore Crawler might come down, extra queens, I don't know. But it will actually be pretty good at stopping if there was a Ling all-in on the way. The Oracle would add a lot of damage to that.
It can help, for sure. Well, the Overlord gets in here, the other Overlord gets in here, and is checking for, I guess, how many gateways are put down or what's going on. Sees a Robo instead. Be too worried about that. The Oracle is again spotted by the Zelnaga. Still no Spore Crawlers. There we go. There you go. Spore Crawlers do build really fast. Once upon a time, they were buffed. A long, long time ago.
Oh, Xanster responded to my cheering up to Muslim with a sad face.
Yeah, what do you say against that? Just good luck to both of them.
No, good luck to the Muslim.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I actually, you know what? Here's the thing, though, right? I actually really like Xanster for every ZVP and ZVZ I've ever seen him play. And it's nothing to do with his skill. I like to Muslim, man. Watching him play is fun. I don't know how to describe it.
English accent.
Well, I mean, when they're doing Challenger
Man
League.
crush on him.
Well, in Challenger League, we're not going to be hearing his accent. It's just his playstyle.
It's his charm, you know?
You know what? There we go. His
He
Marines are the
infects
handsomest
you.
Marines there are.
He infects you with the charm, and then you cheer for him, and you're like, I don't even know why. This is weird.
It's like a love potion. Just the accent, it's so alluring. Lots of Lings are coming out for this, and this looks very similar to what we saw him do versus Snovsky in that final game to really finish it off. +1 is well going to be paired up with this, and I really think if this Oracle stays at home and gets energy instead of wasted on Envisions or whatever he needs to.
Why does it have Envision on?
I don't know, because he doesn't have anything to shoot the Spore Crawlers, right? So that's awkward as heck. Maybe he meant to go for Revelation and misclicked. I don't know. Either way, that Oracle, if it's sitting at home and there's a wall of force fields and the Lings are stuck there, it's going to just slaughter the Lings.
If it has energy. Yes, it will. But eventually energy runs out, and you might still have 60 Lings to deal with 1-1. Immortal's not going to be very helpful. The only thing that's good about what Bouli is doing right now is that he's still on 2 bases. So the sentries won't be caught in the middle of the map like they were for the last Protoss player. Hopefully they'll still be behind the wall when the attack comes. But Stephano, he has eyes in the third, you know? He might be saying, like, okay, I was planning for an all-in. If you got the third, I'd kill it. I'd get you, probably, and I'd probably win the game. Since you're not getting a third, maybe I'll just, like, wait, surround your army, force out those force fields, and just wreck you defensively as opposed to attacking you.
Well, we do have the move out coming.
Yeah. Stephano, you know, he's not on perfect drone counts because he did cut early for this attack that is now going to be a defense, but does it matter? He has so many Lings, and they're nicely upgraded. There's not really many Zealots here. You know, he trades out the amount of Zealots he had last game for sentries that you wanted, but there can be enough force fields with this many Lings.
Well, that's a great donut to start. There's the Oracle, but it's wasting shots at the Queens instead of the Lings, so, you know, as much as the Immortals are good, look how many Lings there are. They're just not dying fast enough. Force fields are going to fade out. He's going to need more. Not enough to create that full donut once again. Warpins are just being picked off before they really get into the fight. Zealots on the backside. Mothership Core goes away. We got the Queens just chipping away from far, far away. These Lings are cleaning this up. Not a single roach. The Immortals don't have that effectiveness. 30 more coming out behind this. And, he's going to focus fire down the Warp Prism.
You know what he did? He listened to Rifkin's end of the cast, you know, with the delay and everything. He's like, oh, more sentries, less Zealots. I got it. And then it's like the wrong thing to do against this, like, Lings heavy style.
Everyone knows Rifkin's a terrible caster with no analysis. Do not listen to Rifkin.
Well, apparently he shouldn't have, because imagine if he had, like, the 16 Zealots instead of the sentries.
Well,
I think he still would have done okay.
I actually think, yeah, a wall of Zealots, a wall of Blades is better than a wall of Force Fields. Either way, you know, he did keep a good chunk of the army alive, so we'll give him that much. Stephano did throw away a lot of Lings to kill anything, but I still feel a lot better for Stephano. He's going to go for the counterattack, maybe? If he wraps around, I feel like he could crush this army.
Well, he's also getting a lot of Queens. He's waiting for those upgrades, maybe looking to buy time for those upgrades as well, some Spine Crawlers. He did get a Roach for him, but he's not bothering to make any.
So many Queen Zombie Grub.
Yeah, but that is a lot of units. I mean, with every single warp in, what looked like very small after the end of that last attack is now back to a big, intimidating force with a couple of force fields.
Yo, I think you and Stephano would do well in Archon mode together. This Mass Queen.
Oh yeah, yeah, we would.
Alright, well, force fields are going to come down and lock out a lot of those queens, but the Zerglings coming around from the backside, going to force the force fields over here. He'll lose some of the lings on the front side, but he kills all the zealots on the other side of the force fields. This works out really well for him, Stephano that is. Bouli has used a lot of energy in these attacks. He's still got a couple more good force fields left, but where can he really place these? Now there's spine crawlers up. There's still going to be lots of transfuses. Ideally, there we go, queens. Never say die!
They're going to live. They are actually going to live. Wow. Don't be so bold! No, you lived!
It's the boy who lived! Harry Stephano Potter!
Well, he's run out of force fields again. There's a 1 sentry with decently high energy, but he is... No, he's running out of steam here. He can't break the force fields and the transfuses. Stephano... I mean, if he had just had Lings again... That big army of zealots probably beats him, you know, and then we just talk about how Lings, I guess, weren't the way to stick on, but he transitioned into spine crawlers and queens. It made it work.
This Protoss army, though, longer it waits. There's a lot of sentries, 15 in total. More energy for more force fields.
Thought that might be an oracle, but it's just a second war prism trying to chill at the natural.
I don't think this is such a bad move, though, because he's having trouble really getting around the Lings. If he baits them away, maybe the queens go back over here. I mean, as a spine crawler, even over here in the natural. Stephano is like on lockdown duty for every aspect of this. Queens on the front lines again, spreading like crazy. More transfuses is going to be available. Lings ready to pounce in on the backside as well. Bouli is going to have a really hard time finding an engagement spot. And with the amount of force fields he has, the worst place he could fight is right out here. But he can't exactly force these Lings up that ramp. He can't force the queens to go into a position where they are going to get badly force fielded. There's the surround coming out. Guardian Shield will help a little bit versus the queens, but still, the amount of units, the quantity of what Stephano has, the amount of queens shooting over the force fields, targeting down the stalkers, picking off those sentries. More force fields going down, but eventually they will fall, they will break, and those Lings get on top of the warpins. They're picking off the stalkers, they're picking off the zealots. It's mostly just queens now, but he's making more. He's making more queens, more circlings, 3 queens at a time. This transfuse is going quite well. Falls back to the spine crawlers, perhaps over-dedicating a little bit to this, but there's no more force fields.
Well, that is true. There's no more force fields, but it's less about force fields now and just about raw power. You know, the Immortal's still alive. They're going to be able to maybe help out against the Queens. Oh, one does go down.
He might actually get some of the Queens here, and that would be good, but the spine crawlers, I think, will stop the rest of this advance with the amount of Lings.
He's running out of injects, though. The Queens have been on the front line for a very long time.
That's true, actually. The larva count gone. He big flood of 30 Lings, and it's just 10 more at a time after this.
Not sure what he's going to do with the infestation pit. Maybe if he had lasted longer, some fungals could have been really good. Maybe he actually would have tried the new swarm host. I don't know, but he's not using any of the other tech structures he's built, just still sticking on queens and lings. This is probably the most inefficient way you can handle an Immortal Sentry Omen. It's going to throw that out there.
It's like, you know, Snoot and others, where they would throw down like 12 spine crawlers. It's really, really expensive and not a great way to do it, but it got the job done. It's kind of the same of what I'm looking at here. Speaking of the spine crawlers, they are going to start getting picked off. Transfusion's coming out again. Ling's giving it a little bit of a chase. I guess we got some new sentries warped in at some point there. Queen is going to just soak that damage. I mean, these things are psionic. They have 175 health. They can take hits.
I wonder what would have happened if instead of an infestation pit, they'd thrown on a Hydralisk and, you know, like gotten the...
I actually like this, though, because the fungal growth would reach over the force fields. They wouldn't have to be in range for the fight.
It just took so long for them to get there. Like, I agree. If Infestors come out, they're going to be fantastic. But Hydras, you know, they could have maybe already been out and helping a lot.
Well, this is,
It's still going.
It's still going. That's a way to describe it. I can't believe how many queens there are. 16 in total.
This is like the first time that it's been energy versus energy, right? They usually get like, oh, the force fields are coming back, but oh, the transfuses are also coming back.
That's very true. I didn't actually consider that because of how crazy and ridiculous it got, but rarely do you ever see a composition like this, and it's still not even that bad. He's got +2 weapon upgrades on the Lings. They've got the damage once they connect, but getting connections are hard due to those force fields. Once again, locking out the army, keeping them back. Force fields. Yo, I do like that Stephano's finally backing up to the spine crawlers. He's trying to bait fights over here, but with 10, 11 infestors on the way, it's no longer tier 1 units versus all of this. He's gonna actually just kill the army with fungals. He won't even need Lings or Queens to attack. He'll have enough damage from the fungals with 11 infestors to kill everything.
Oh my!
Oh, he gets all the sentries!
Oh, look at him pop! Look at him pop! Oh, he was missing a couple of fungals.
It still pops. They still pop, and that's pretty much gonna be it. Good Good game, well played, and even wishes him good luck on the next round because he is fighting possibly the toughest opponent in this bracket with Marine Lord waiting for him. France versus France.
France.